The morning wind-up. This is where I test my jokes and try to get my thoughts together for the walk-in stream. Y'all, I'm gonna try to stay positive. I am. But, y'all, I genuinely worry. Because, welcome, hello everybody. Not said any emotions. Fuck. Uh-oh. See, this is why I need to do this preload set before I come in. That way I can have this done before anyone gets here. But, still don't have this done before anyone gets here. What the hell? There we go. But don't get me wrong, I would love to have like a full set of motions here, but... Morning everybody. Welcome to the Minecraft build world. I have cats all over me right now. While I try to work about my Minecraft world, I really need to get a back camera so y'all can see it. I got my co-hosts here. I got a little Banshee boy, and I got a little Void girl. I believe it's a Navi, but she's been quiet. But... Nah, it's been a rough, learning about shit going on, you know? Okay, I'll need to get a pumpkin to make a golem, but can I make armor now? That'd be super cool. What the fuck? I thought you were supposed to be able to make shit with brass or copper now. Alright, what if it's supposed to be blocks? Maybe I'm just doing this wrong. It's meant to be blocks. I'm gonna search it, see if the game will tell me anything. Love the keyboard system here, PlayStation. Keep it up. Just go. I'm confused. Is it only in Bedrock and consoles then at the moment? I just don't know what's going on with the updates now, because I thought they'd come to here. But I'm not... Oh, I still got axes. I mean, I thought the updates would come to the console, but I'm not seeing any of them. Well, beyond the fact that they fired the people that would be able to detect the floods that took Texas, beyond that fact, it's just they're starting to remove warning systems. I personally, not to be an alarmist... Oh, hello, Latoya. How are you doing today? But I personally think that the disarming of the NOAA system and all the pre-warning systems, I think that's because Trump wants the financial boom we got after the first COVID outbreak. Because at that time, we were also in a state of almost recession. But due to the deaths and the immediate need to refill those positions and everyone just struggle busting through, we got a boom out of a recession. And he really wants to repeat that, and he doesn't care if the American people have to pay in cash and in blood. The problem being, of course, that you can't just repeat that. Even if you could just pour the American people into a liquidator, you're not going to be able to repeat the what happened during COVID, because people are different. I mean, beyond that, without the information from these systems being put to use, it's going to be bad for everybody, y'all. Especially your coastal cities. As I said, I haven't studied enough about what's going on in Texas. I just know we should feel bad for them. And also, okay kids, please don't jump on the mic. But I think we should feel bad for them. I think we should help out our fellow Americans as much as we can. And I think we need to stop. Look, y'all, me, you, average farmer Joe, your average business owner, yeah, we should worry about financing. We really should. We should worry about our finances. We should balance our budgets. We should be careful. The U.S. government, I don't want it to think about fiscal responsibility outside of, is this going to help and benefit my people? If the answer is yes, honey, please stop chewing on my mic cord. If the answer is yes, please, by all means, go do it. If the answer is no, let's not do it. It's that simple. But it's like we spent 100,000 or a couple billion on Elon Musk's bullshit Cybertrucks and advertising and helping him get his little shit business off the ground. But we can't help the Texans right now. Real people who can't afford $1 billion, we can't help them, but we can definitely help out our Nepo babies. Child, quit chewing on the mic. I don't want to pop you with my little finger, but at the same time, getting you popped with my finger would hurt you less than you chewing through and getting shocked by the electricity. I'm not like hitting the cat, y'all. I'm just sort of popping around their face, and it bothers them so much they stop trying to climb and chew on the remote. What I'm saying is corporal punishment doesn't work, but annoying something definitely works. I about to say, if you're not into the slow build Minecraft stream, I totally get it. I appreciate anyone that comes by and just drops a comment, because it helps a lot with algo. But on top of that, the walk-in stream will hopefully be a bit better. The book that I had referenced yesterday while I was hiking was George Goodell's The Heat Will Kill You First. The next one that I'll be covering... Okay, come on, Copper. There we go. The next one I'll be covering out of the Goodell Library is going to be George Goodell's The Water Will Come, which to me was a very interesting read, because it's basically how we know that soon the coastal cities are going to be the underwater cities, and those that are right next to the coast will become the new coastal cities. And while we know this, and we can see it happening right before our very eyes, people are ignoring it. Florida isn't building back bigger. They aren't resurfacing and basically bringing up everything by about 4 feet, which is what you're going to need to do in the coming 2-3 years with global warming being what it is. And again, this is just not doomering, this is just, if we continue as we've been doing. Hello, X-Playscraft. I would if I could, man, but like I keep saying, I need to pay the $10 so that I can get the PlayStation thing going online. Without the online, I cannot let anyone play with me. Otherwise, trust, I would, because this stuff gets lonely. But, what was I saying? Oh, yes, the water. Child, please stop chewing on the mic cord. If I suddenly lose my mic, y'all, you can thank little Navi, the void here, who's constantly trying to chew on the connection. I guess maybe it tastes like sweat. I don't know. But The Water Will Come is a very good, just be aware of what's going to come up next book. Because it's similar to The Heat Will Kill You First. I think it was one of the 2 books that brings up FEMA and their key problem that I don't think we should have gotten rid of FEMA, I just think we should have fixed the problem. The problem with FEMA for rich people is absolutely nothing. They'll give you money for days. You'll love the hell out of them. I mean, your house floods, FEMA will basically give you enough money to buy a house outside of the flood area. And that sounds great, until you incorporate in that most Americans and most people living in those houses, they rent, they don't buy. And as far as what FEMA does for renters, Well, that's practically nothing. If you're a renter and your property gets destroyed by the floods, they'll pay the owner of the property, and they'll tell you to get fucked. To make matters worse, if, say, like, I'm going to say Fernando. I'm not sure if that's his name. There was a Fernando in the story. But it was a fellow in Florida who basically grew a type of, oh, possibly pawpaw, but I think it was something traditional to Florida. But he had a grove of them. And he had basically worked on this grove, worked on this orchard his entire life to make it Florida's premier orchard. After Irving, I believe it was, the hurricane that hit, he no longer had that farm. The salt water flooded in, killing all of the trees at the root. And then the government, the FEMA people, basically said, oh no, you can't live in your trailer that was there during the flood because it got water damage. And again, I get it, we can't have people living in, like, black mold sites. But maybe put some of that government money to helping the poor people who are renting properties, or who have properties like trailers rebuild, rather than just giving money to the business owners. Again, I'll remind you, most people who own homes and land in Florida do not live in Florida. Most of them are, I believe the term is snowbirds. They live up in the upper east. Like, they live in Maine, they live in New York, they live in Chicago, they live in various places, but they don't live in Florida. They just own a piece of Florida. And again, I feel like people are going to call me a nationalist for it, but I think we shouldn't allow that. I think in order to own land in a state, you should live in that state. The main reason why is simple. It's because if you live there, you're likely to actually care. I mean, most of these people that are building in flood areas, let's be clear, they're doing it because it's a payout that will definitely come. The floodwaters will come. If you rent the property rather than live on it, then, yeah, you can collect a couple $1,000s rent each month. And then when the floodwaters come and destroy your house, the U.S. government will just pay you, the U.S. government will just pay you what the house is worth, and you can collect your money and be on your way. Pass go, collect your $200, welcome to the rich club in America. It's, of course, going to be more than $200 you're collecting for the price of the house, but still, I would make it to where the renters have a chance. Also, I would make it to where if you want to build on a damaged house, you can, but that it would need to be up to a certain code, because the other side of what happened during, I believe it was Katrina is the one they were referencing, is that the floodwaters came and everyone just built back up on top of it like ramshackle, you know? And honestly, I just hate the right wing's take on everything when it comes to this stuff, because literally, y'all, their only take is thoughts and prayers. And don't get me wrong, if you've had a long day, you've served at your soup kitchen or wherever you serve at to do your volunteer, you picked up trash, you planted some you did your volunteer, you did your good. And now you're going home, you see the news, and it's just all shit. But you can't go out anymore, you're tired. So you cross your hands and you say a little prayer to whatever higher life form you believe in. Y'all, I'm not even going to mock that. I get it. You put in your work, you've done the job. You want hope. I get that. I can't even mock that. But if your be-all, end-all is, I'm going to cross my hands and fart into the sky, well, please just go and save that, because you're wasting everyone's time and energy. And you're wasting your time, because just praying for it to be fixed will never ever fix it, y'all. Nothing fixes itself. I'm gonna have to go get more debt. Oh, shite. And thus the gladiatorial arena begins. can and do happen for no reason sometimes. I hope y'all can hear Riverboat Jack in the background, not stealing her content. I'm just sort of reacting to it while I play. And typically with Riverboat Jack, I like her content because there's not really a lot I'm ever going to disagree with when it comes to Riverboat. She's a good egg. Someone's banging on my door. Did that dude just break down my door? How rude. Need to put in more doors. And yeah, y'all, eventually I will build our world on Minecraft, which is what I'm hoping one of these survival worlds turns into. But for now, I can't really share my stuff yet. Flame Capitalist Dystopia, when Minecraft started, I could share my stuff with y'all. We could just all be on the same thing and enjoy ourselves. But, you know, time moves on. Mojang sells his stuff. Microsoft ain't gonna give you a fucking thing for free. I mean, hell, if they won't give medical devices to hospitals, even though Bill and Melinda Gates keeps, you know, pretending like they're the be-all, end-all of charity. Like I said, that's my problem with rich people charity, is they act like they're doing something big, and they are, but it's... Battlefield Earth, I think, is the one with the line in it. We came down to view your planet. You gathered, you sang, you danced. It was like you were meeting God. For us, it was Tuesday. But wherever that line is from, because that line lives rent-free in my head, but it's like, that's sort of how the rich are. They could fix all these problems. Hell, they could rebuild Texas if one oil baron in Texas wanted to actually help his people. But in this country, we're trained to be craven little cowards with our money and never, ever, ever let it go once we get in our grubby little mitts. I mean, I would like to say that completely, but, I mean, we're trained not to share our money, because the poor deserve their poverty. I mean, I'll happily shell out $40 for a piece of chocolate. I'll happily shell out a couple $100 for a new game console. But shell out a couple dozen so a small child can eat? Nah, fuck that, man. Them kids need to get skills. It's like, that seems to be the American way, and to me that's just kind of sickening. But then again, y'all know what I do every day, don't you? I prepare food for everybody, and then as my company sells that food, I then take the scraps to try to get wild food to grow for all those that can't afford $10 for a sandwich. And no, I don't work at Subway, otherwise that'd be $16 for a sandwich. The one here in town that Google Maps is quick to tell you, you're going to be passing by the pedo bread. The pedo sugar bread. Because Jared's now fallen out of the limelight so much people forgot why people say Subway's pedo sandwiches. For my youngins in the chat, ow. I almost said Jared Leto. Also avoid Jared Leto. But Jared, no last name, was a spokesperson for Subway who got famous by basically during the fat fear of America, he dropped almost 160 pounds eating sugar bread. And he was real famous for that, like, real famous. Like, ad deals everywhere, but especially for Subway. And with all this branding, a cushy life as basically a mascot for the rest of his life, he then decided to take that fame and fortune and do what most of the rich people in America do. He started predating on children. Why is it our rich people do that? Like, don't get me wrong, other rich people have their problems. Rich people in Africa exploit the people around them and kill them in mines in order to get extra money. And I mean that. Your cell phone basically should come with a small cup of child blood for all the children that died mining the cobalts and all the various parts needed in your phone. But I'm not going to judge. I've got a phone too. It's cracked to hell and back because I never fucking replace it until I have to. But still, I get it. We all have needs. But it's like, you know, their rich people are exploiting the workers and building big-ass industries, but eventually they'll die and the people can rise up and take them. In America, though, our rich people just molest children. Our rich people build Child Molester Island and go there. I mean, Bill and Melinda Gates went to Child Molester Island. Oh, but I'm sorry, that list doesn't exist. Never mind. Epstein was an upstanding citizen, and I should stop defaming him, according to our president. But at the same time, as we all know, that he was a fucking monster, and the only reason Trump's protecting him is because he was on those lists. Y'all, that's what I'm saying. Just don't let that go away. Y'all were a real pain in the ass about the Epstein files when Clinton ran for office. So let's still be a pain in the ass about him with Trump in office. Considering I'm sure Bill Clinton took those rides, but I don't think Hillary did. Now let's be clear, she probably knew about what was going on and just didn't care. She is still just a rich status quo Democrat. And we should avoid basically any status quo politician, I feel like, at this point. Because even right now, the Democrats are toying with the idea of bringing Elon Musk into the fold. And all I can say to that is, well, what the fuck, do y'all not pay attention? Do you see what he did to the Republican Party? No, Elon Musk is a cancer. If the Democrats bring Elon Musk into the fold, we might actually lose the next election, which is supposed to be a shoo-in for Democrats, being that, you know, Republicans have botched the operation so goddamn hard. I mean, they went in with a surplus during the first Trump administration, turned a surplus into a recession, and then went in with barely a heads up just to stabilize system with Biden, and now it's already upended. I mean, it is upended so badly, I don't think the American economy will recover for several years. But again, it's just status quo for Republicans, because you can't run a country like a corporation. It's just impossible. That's not how countries should run. I mean, give you a hint, if a corporation's in the red forever, that's a failed business. If a country's in the red forever, that's a good country. That's a country that's providing for its people. That's because you'll always overspend the coffers, especially in the year of, you know, in the years of climate change and global weirding. You're gonna spend that money for public works, for rebuilding. I mean, in the case of Georgia, we need to be purchasing sandbags, because Texas flooding isn't... Y'all, I'm going to tell you to go back and watch something that's so outdated it was lambasted by South Park. But do me a favor, if you get the chance, go to your local library. If they don't have it on the physical shelves, I'm sure someone has it where you can find it and watch it for free. It might even be on YouTube. But go check out An Inconvenient Truth. It's old now, y'all. I believe it's from before 2020. But go check out An Inconvenient Truth. Yes, it's Al Gore. Yes, it's kind of cringy. But, I mean, everyone when that came out called it catastrophizing and science fiction. And then a bunch of movies like 2012 and shit like that came out. Not making fun of it, but very much, you know, oh, but come on, y'all. Do you really think this is going to happen? Day After Tomorrow, 2012, various movies like that. But, y'all, if you go back and watch that movie, that documentary, he hasn't been wrong. Every year, the summers will get hotter until we hit a breaking point and the planet starts catching fire. Well, that's nonsense. That'll never happen. We have the rainy season that comes through. And then we have a healthy fall and spring schedule. And how's that going now, folks? Because that's what the experts said back then. How's our rainy seasons here in the U.S. doing? Oh wait, most of our rainy seasons here in the U.S. are now flood seasons. And, oh yeah, the planet will never catch on fire because we have springs and summers. How'd y'all enjoy that, springtime here in Georgia? It lasted all of about half a month before we hit the knockdown, drag-out summer heat waves. And that's just here in Georgia, what I can tell you definitively. I'm not telling you it from a book or from stats, I'm telling you it from walking into work every day. But still, soon we'll get fall. I mean, it's almost August, so we'll get the last gasp of a bad heat wave. And then fall will start in September promptly with cool, crisp, apple-picking weather. It's not like the apple trees are going to die. And, y'all, it's hard to get on here sometimes and talk about shit, Because I don't just want to doom and gloom. I want to give you a plan. And in the case of what to do with the coming floods, well, y'all, tractors, and I hate to sound hyperbolic or sarcastic. I'm really not. This is genuinely a plan, as bad and crazy as it is. But Tractor Supply and various other outdoor stores sell boats. They're not cheap. They're like, well, they're cheaply made, but they're not cheap. They're like $150 to $200 a boat, and they're just little kayaks. But I would highly suggest purchasing at least one per person in your family, as if you're going to go on a fun vacation, but instead, each member of the family keep your boat up and be ready. Ideally, build something like you take old pallets and start collecting you some of the bottles and barrels. Make sure they're good and full of air, good air, And then once you got them full, go ahead and glue those caps in place and secure them to your pallets, and this will create a raft. Take your free-floating rafts and make them ready, because that way when the floods come, you can basically put your pets and needed things on the raft you've made, and you can use your kayak to drag the raft along. Now I already hear you if you're like me, well, what if I can't afford that? Well then, friend, that sucks for you. I wish I had better solutions, but we live in America, so if you can't build your safety raft out, I guess you just get to die like all the people during the heat and like the heat wave, or all the children in Texas when the floodwaters rose and no one warned them. Because the other way to fix this is just that, make rich people less greedy. Make it to where if they build in a flood zone, you pay for whoever's living there to get help and rebuild. But if it's just a homeowner that bought their home, isn't doing anything, and just is collecting rent from it, yeah, we just let them sink. We don't rebuild their shit for them. You bought land, you didn't stay in the land, so since you denied some resident of having a house, you can now afford to pay for a house. It sounds mean, but it's not, because it'll have zero effect on the working population. Because what I say is, if you're in Florida and you rent out a house and the flood comes, well, you're going to get enough money to go and live somewhere else. The homeowner will have to rebuild on their own dime because they chose to build in a floodplain. And we make all of the flood knowledge not only like accessible but mandatory for you to check into if you want to build a home in its coming age. But it's because, y'all, this isn't me being mean, this is me understanding that we're running out of time quickly. And soon, we'll just be out of time. Both in the story and IRL. It's 3:46 currently. At 4 o'clock, I need to go scoop the litter boxes, dispose of that, take Benny out for a quickie walk, and take Shifu and Alice out if she'll go, and then I gotta head into work. Once I reach JoJo's Market, I'll start streaming the live stream from there for the walk-in, and we'll see what we can find in this barren, dead land. Like I said, I'm hoping in the coming months I'll be able to show y'all living creatures walking around rather than just roadkill. But we'll see, because while life always finds a way, I also really try hard to make sure none of that wildlife will get near people. Because, and as the Appalachian Trail has leading up to it and all along it, don't feed the bears, folks. The reason that when I feed wildlife, I do it by throwing it in the river or by throwing the food along my path is because the animals will find it, but they won't associate it with me. I'm not going to be out there hand feeding the animals because people are terrible, and if I do that, that's great. But the next person might be hand feeding the deer with a pistol in the other hand, or a knife in the other hand, you know? I don't want to get my wild friends killed just trying to make sure they don't starve because we've taken away all their food and replaced it with non-native, non-edible plants for them. Like I said, y'all, plant wild, but plant, like, edible things. Plant things that are going to help nature, not hurt it. Because our mother's hurting bad right now, y'all. And remember, as the laws of ecology state, nature bats last. And I'm tired of hearing, oh, this is a one in a... Y'all, who cares? Who cares how long it'll be before the next end of time storm comes? Because I got news for you. It'll be about a month to a year. I'm sorry, I'm so tired of the, oh, well, it was a once-in-a-lifetime thing. It was a once-in-a-lifetime. If it happened last year, it doesn't get to be called once-in-a-lifetime. It gets to be called, hey, y'all, this year's flooding did this. Like I said, I think we need a competent leadership. And I think that, like, everyone across the board needs to be making votes of no confidence. But like I said, y'all, we have the means and all that. We could make it to where no American and nobody in the world goes without food. We just choose to play capitalism instead. We could house every single person on this planet. But instead of having land tenders or people that literally... No. As a landlord, your job isn't to sit on your fat Cheeto-covered ass, but to go and tend to the land. I want to see you actively working to remove non-native invasive species. I want to see you actively working to shape the land into a proper way for both your people and yourself. As a landlord, you should tend to the land. Again, I'm not saying that you should feel... Actually, yes, I am. If you're a landlord and your only job so far has been to hire handymen that don't do the job for your renters, yeah, you're a bad landlord and you shouldn't be getting money for that. Oh, shite. That being said, I also think we should really try hard, as I'm trying hard, to not do ha-ha jokes about something like this right now. Because it is a tragedy, y'all. But let's be absolutely clear. There are parents that had their child, sent them off for a fun summer experience at a camp that has a very iconic name. Because, I mean, y'all, I've never been to Texas. I would have never been in summer camp because I don't trust people enough. But, y'all, Camp Mystic sounds badass to go to. Just by name, it sounds like it belongs in a fucking preteen movie or something. But y'all, these kids were going off to have a fun time, and they died because our leadership is terrible at their job. But I mean, what else is new here, folks? This is just the government standard, don't you know? I mean, when the Titanic sank, there were ships watching it sink that they waited to send the lifeboats out. Not out of maliciousness, but just because they were confused at what they saw. I mean, Y'all, we're living in not the end times, because that makes it sound like we need to give up and... No, no, no. But if we don't do something, we are living in the end times. The end is nigh, all that Watchmen shit. But it doesn't have to be. We can change this together, y'all. We can link arms, shoulder to shoulder, and change this. For starters, if it's meant to be for the nation, it's not what I need. If it's meant to be for the nation, or it's meant to help out the people, it should basically be a tax-free service. Secondly, if citizens can get it, I think any foreigner that comes here should be able to get it. Because for me, again, it should be an Ellis Island style, the way America used to be back when we were great-er. We've never been great, but we have been better off than we are now and worse off at times. And when we first started out and you could come over here, hey dude, if you rode over here on a fucking door, it doesn't matter. Welcome. Bienvenidos. You are our brother. But that's because as an early nation we realized we need people for a nation to function. Somehow we have forgotten and lost that lesson. Many hands make the work lighter. And that is true. But why is it it's only the foreign worker that works those hands? Most Americans, it seems like, are scared and or allergic to work. And I mean that. I mean, y'all, let's go check out the construction sites. I see blue-collar folks and I see Hispanic folks. I don't see any white, wealthy children in there. I see blue-collar family members there. I don't see any of these rich, white, wealthy folks doing anything productive at all. It's just cake and circuses. Well, bread and circuses. And again, I'm not saying be violent, I'm saying be rude about it. When they do a little gala and try to get you to ooh and ah, call them out on their bullshit. I mean, seriously. It's like it's like any artist, for example. I love art, y'all. I consider myself an artist. I wouldn't own a Gucci bag if you paid me to. Why? They're a designer now. You've got a creator who's not even creating work anymore. They're just stealing shit offline. And you're willing to pay $600, $700, $800 for something that never touched the artist's hands. I mean, let's be clear, folks. If you buy one of my pictures, not to buy today, but if you buy one of the coloring book pictures that I do and then put a cardboard frame on, or hopefully here soon if I work out the process, I've almost got it worked out, fans. I'm going to do a cheap cardboard upcycled one that's going to be like $2, mostly because it's an experimental one and it's mostly meant for decor, or again, disposability. Because anything that I make, my plan is basically, oh, you're tired of it? Do me a favor then, throw it out in the yard and it'll grow something. I'm working on putting, like, ideally, like, native grass seed or something behind the frames. Or, like, glue them behind the paper. That way, when you throw it out and it gets wet and it starts to decompose, those seeds will germinate and grow. I'm trying all sorts of shit, y'all, because I think recycling is fucking cool. And I think you too should think recycling is fucking cool. And all it takes to upcycle is do something with it. I mean, plarn is a plastic style yarn that if you make it correctly, you can crochet with it, you can sew with it. I mean, I wouldn't suggest making anything that you're gonna eat off of or something like that, but like mats for the floor, carpets, rugs, shit like that, yeah, you can totally do that out of plastic. Not to mention decor. That's it, I think we just do way too much in metal nowadays. And yeah, metal has its uses and sources. And definitely like your kitchen stuff. But if you don't have to, why do it, you know? Make it decomposable. Make it to where it fades with time unless it's meant to not. And so far, I'd say this place is going pretty swell. Still got a long way to go, to be clear, but it's going pretty swell. Either way, y'all, I thank you for watching. We're past the halfway mark for the morning stream. I'd say we're thoroughly woken up. I'm probably about to get an audio book going or find some more news of the times to chat about while we hike in. I'm going to try to find my notepad so that I can take a few notes before we head out. And we will definitely be getting y'all with that sunrise, because for a chunk of the walk it's going to probably be through the darkness. Y'all think I should wear a headlamp? I don't know. See, the headlamp thing is, my headlamp does not have its red light feature working properly. And when it comes to walking through nature, light pollution is a real thing that we need to watch and curb as people. Because all the folks that, oh, I leave my porch light on all night to deter criminals, or I leave my porch... Yeah, but you're also deterring bats. You're also deterring lots of wild animals that would otherwise use your yard to hunt, cut through. They'd bring you wild seeds and such. And instead, they avoid your yard because your yard screams, hey, y'all, get eaten. Again, not judging. Because for the record, I can't get my rock and lichen garden going because we don't own this land. And I am behooved to the landlord. And it's their choice, y'all. It's their land. I also don't think, oh, well, I've rented this place for 3 months. It's mine now, so I'm going to decorate it my way. The entire yard will look like, hey, it's Bad Albert. It'll look like Albert's yard. I like that decor. It's like, you know, y'all, you should respect the homeowner or the landowner's wishes. I just also think the landowner should be a landowner and care for the land, not just collect profit hand over fist like they're pimping the land, you know? I think we should have more good leaders and less pimps out there is what it is. And as a country, I think we should, yes, money's important. Yes, we need to have financing in order to survive. But we need to be less greedy and hoardy about things. Because, y'all, hoarding wealth does nothing. Money pulled out of the market will only crash the market. It's why I'm cheering on the kids doing the whole no buys and not giving into the trends of the next consumable thing. Because every time you make the choice to make it yourself and not help in aiding the market grow, you're helping to hurt the market. And while I don't think you should, you know, cripple a market for no reason, when your market's run by evil billionaires, yeah, let's hurt them a little bit, you know? Buy items that are reused from people, instead of buying the latest 15-pack of t-shirts off of a shirt that was made by some sweatshop kid overseas. Instead, and I don't mean Goodwill, fuck a Goodwill, go hit up an actual thrift store. In fact, it probably won't happen today because I'd be broke as hell. But the next time I have a little bit of folding cash in my pocket, I need more jeans anyway, we'll go and hit up the local thrift and ropa shop. Because I'd like for y'all to see it. Our thrift shops are nice. I mean, it takes more hunting for what you want and more settling if you don't particularly like the people's fashion sense around you. But I mean, think of it more as a place to go to get base designs. Anything you buy there can be repurposed into materials. I was already looking into finding like enough big goofy t-shirts that I could turn into more or less a tote bag. Something tough to carry my shit in when I don't need it to stay refrigerated, but I just need a bag that isn't going to slowly rip the skin off my shoulders. But I mean, that's another thing, y'all. Why is it that, like, book bags? It's about to be back to school time, I think. I haven't been in school in so long. But it's about to be back to school time. Why is it that the only bags I can find are, like, the very, very cheap Dollar General bags that you should absolutely not buy because they literally fall apart in, like, under a week? Those are the only backpacks I can find unless I go all the way into town to the giant box store. And even those bags are like, it goes from being $5 for a Dollar General bag that'll fall apart in a week, or immediately if you overstuff it, to, if I go to Walmart, I'll be spending $40 for a school bag, but at least it won't fall apart within a day. I just, you know, we need to revalue our shit. Make it have sentimental value, if nothing else, so that maybe we'll actually utilize it better, you know? Or maybe you don't. Maybe I'm just talking to myself here. Most of my streams tend to end up me talking to myself, which is why I repeat myself a lot. Sorry about that. Still working. Ah, crap. Still working on it. I don't need... Well... No, I'm doing this backwards. I need you to be glass. I need you to be brass or copper. But since I don't have that, there should be one of these that's just 63, right? Yeah. Stick that there. There you go. But alright, y'all, with that record skip, I believe we've officially run out of my soft times. It'll be a bit of a shorter stream this morning, but I have a few things I need to do before we start the live running stream. And unfortunately, y'all, I was actually late yesterday looking at the time clock. I mean, my boss ain't gonna say shit, because 90% of the time I'm early, and I was literally just 4 minutes late, but Home Alone slapped my face. Y'all, I was late! I'm never late! It's upsetting. Upsetting it is. I can't be late again. So, I will definitely see y'all later this afternoon. And because it is my Friday, y'all, you can call me on the shit. If I start to go to sleep on the game, my ass will stand up and we'll do a shaking jive stream, you know? I want to give y'all at least a couple hours of a live stream tonight. So, my question is, Latoya, X Plays Craft, all these other groups, I love you guys. What would you like for me to play this afternoon? Because if I have to make the decision, it's probably going to be something that, like Saints Row, where I can take quick bites out of it. But if you want me to play Assassin's Creed, I'd be happy to do that. I've got The Last of Us, well, not remastered. I've been meaning to get that game eventually. But I got The Last of Us, the last one before they came out with the show. I got that. And then I've got The Last of Us Part 2. I was wanting to beat The Last of Us first. I've got Dead Island. I've got Dead Island 2. I've got Red Dead. I've got a lot of games on here. Currently on the console. On the console, I have Saints Row, Odyssey, The Last of Us. And in my library, I think that's all I have on the console other than Minecraft. Saints Row is a very big game, as is Odyssey. But in my gaming library, I've got Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, Assassin's Creed Origins, Assassin's Creed Rogue, Assassin's Creed Syndicate, Assassin's Creed Unity, Batman Arkham Asylum, Batman Arkham City, Batman Arkham Knight. I got Dead Island Definitive, Dead Island Retro, Dead Island Riptide, I've got Dishonored, I've got God of War, I've got Metal Gear Survive. That could be fun, I haven't played that in quite some time. Got Red Dead 2, got Saints Row 3, got Saints Row Get Out of Hell, got Saints Row the 3rd Remastered. Personally, I would rather not return to Saints Row 3, Saints Row Get Out of Hell, or Saints Row the 3rd Remastered, because I've beaten the brakes off of them, and some of the jokes haven't aged well, if I'm to be honest. But then we've got Skyrim, we've got The Forest. That one I think I can play, but I'll need to put an age restriction on it, because the aggressive human people on the island, the cannibals, they, a lot of them be topless. So while you won't see swinging dong, you will see nipple. And those are my games that I have currently. Any of those games that y'all want to play, throw it down in chat. One that gets the most, and even if it's not one that I've got, one that gets the, well, it has to be one that I've got because I can't afford new ones. But the ones that get the most votes will be the one that I play this evening. And I'll probably swap it up every once in a while, you know. We're going to try to keep it lively on all that. Like I said, y'all, I'm just trying to be a good host as best I can and give y'all a good time where I can. But it is day 18. We're at the 50-minute mark. And unfortunately, I'm going to give you one look at the outside right quick, and this is where I must leave you for now. Eventually, we'll do a dirt tower, just a little zoop, to mark it, and when I do that, we'll be able to see what this thing looks like from the sky. For now, I think it's looking pretty nice. My plan with the glass is to take as much sand as I need and just expand the glass dome out into the ocean and have like a very neat little a zoo for fish. Oh, I'm tired. My brain doesn't want to work. An aquarium, a fish zoo. I want to get a nice little fish zoo built. A little fish zoo-esque. Either way, y'all be good. And as soon as I can get $10 that doesn't immediately go to vet bills or food or, you know, as soon as I get $10 that doesn't have a purpose earmarked for it, I will get a PlayStation membership. And X Plays Craft, I'll have you on the show with me. We'll do a nice little, what's it called, collab. We'll do a nice little, you can come on here and we'll build on survival. Or we can go to Hannaburg, which is something that I've been kind of working on in secret for quite some time. And it's set on, I started it on easy and peaceful to get a farm put on it. Once I got some food built up, I took it off of peaceful and put it on hard. But it's not on extreme like this. If you die, we just respawn. I might turn Hannaburg into our area. Just that way, you know, I don't know how hardcore works. If I die, does it just go away? Or does it take all of us dying out at once? I mean, I don't know how hardcore works like that. So, because I don't know how it works, if I pay the $10 to PlayStation and get a live account, we'll go ahead and we'll just play on the hard mode. Because through teamwork, I know we can do it. I didn't realize I had lots of lazuli. Let me toss that in the box. And let me plant just a few more trees before we go. I'm just curious, did she give him the advice in the debate to be extremely racist, like old school Looney Tunes level racism? Because, y'all, I really did think I think he had cooked. I thought he had been cooked when he was like, they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. And they turned it into a fucking soundbite, and it was a joke, and everybody laughed at it. Yeah, that super racist president, are you surprised he built the Florida Gestapo? Not Gestapo, the Florida Dachau, or that of all the groups of the military, the one that he's funding is his Gestapo? I mean, again, he is literally the most racist president to run. And, well, maybe not in all of history. Again, back in the day, quite a few presidents owned other people. But as far as, like, in recent history, in the last 100 years, Trump is the most racist president we've ever had. And there's a good portion of the American population that voted for that. Or didn't see it as enough of a threat to vote against it. I'm embarrassed, y'all. That's what I'm saying there. I'm embarrassed for us. Either way, y'all have a wonderful day out there. I hope you stay cool and stay hydrated as we move through this lovely heat wave. According to the weather report, it will be 82 degrees at its peak, and the lows today are expected to be in the 70s. It's supposed to be clear skies, so try not to die. And if it cools off enough or you can get out there early enough, try to enjoy the weather while we can. Perhaps plant a few wild seeds in the dirt. Feed the birds from natural seedling sources. Or, you know, make a compost pile. Make a seed bomb, perhaps. We'll go over making a seed bomb later. And no, y'all, for the record, it doesn't do anything fun like explode. We just call it a seed bomb because, well, I'll explain it on the walk. And I might draw some pictures if I take a lunch break at work to show you, like, visually what I'm talking about you need to do. Either way, y'all be good, stay safe, work together. Remember, folks, communication is the key. And I love y'all. Be good. Stay safe. We will see you after work. And we'll see you before work if you show up for the live. That's me walking into work. 4 miles through the Georgia backcountry could be fun. Backcountry, not, well, there are bats, so I guess we do have bat country here. Either way, y'all be good. We love you. Stay safe. Bye for now.